Hello, everyone. I'm with this beautiful soul. And why do I call her beautiful? She is a TED speaker and she talks about something called as menstrual health. But what really attracted me towards her was her innocence. Okay. And you'll come across that as the conversation keeps leading on. And she talks about something so beautiful about creating a social impact. And that is why the Sunshine Angel had to be part of the Sunshine Life. Thank you so much, Ananya. Even though this is probably the first time ever that I'm introducing someone who I hardly know, but I think your energies pushed me in such a way that I had to get out of the platform that I was listening to you from and immediately message you to come on board. So thank you so much for creating such a beautiful energy in this world and for being part and agreeing to be, part of the Sunshine Life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me and giving me this platform and opportunity. And I really look forward to our conversation.
Thank you. So, Ananya, what makes you this person? If you could, in a brief, dive us into the experiences that makes you talk about something so relevant, let's say even about menstrual health. How did you dive into that?
So I think that came from growing up in a society or culture where you see that, periods or menstruation are a completely normal biological process that all girls and women undergo. But still we have this sort of stigma and, lack of access and knowledge of what goes on during those days, during our periods. And there are so many women in India who lack the necessary products to actually safely and hygienically handle their menstrual cycle. So all of those things, both the stigmatization and, it's called period poverty, the lack of access and affordability of, essential products, that combined together led me to want to work towards creating menstrual health education and raising awareness about this topic.
But what makes you? Why did you decide to bring that on?
So I felt that I had the knowledge, had the skills, and had the resources to be able to do something for others who may not have those same opportunities. I go to a school where I got to learn in my biology class what menstruation is, and I had access to the internet, so I could learn from there. But there are so many girls who don't have those same experiences. There are so many girls who come from, more conservative family backgrounds where they may have to obey some myths and taboos that are no longer relevant in modern day lives. But still, they are held back due to those reasons. So I felt that I had the capability to be able to speak about this freely, and that I should be using that skill to be to help others.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I think that's something, and you are so young, but I think the wisdom that you have, and that is why I probe you into asking as to why is it so important to you, because if I think, people like you who are so young want to talk about it so openly out there of something which, we've been shying away for the longest period of time. Thank you so much for doing that, first of all. And Ananya, along with that, I would want to know something about you as a person. How are you such a person? What makes you talk, want to talk about it? If it could either be your experiences, people, situation, books, what inspired you to do something like this? And I'm not just talking about menstrual health, but generally, the kind of person that you are today.
So I think the biggest credit for my personality or who I am would definitely go to my mother, because she is my biggest role model. So I think for all of us, our mothers are people whom we grow up looking up to and wanting to be like. If only we have a fraction of their strength and grace and intelligence, I think I would consider myself a successful human. So she is really my inspiration and drive. And she is someone who is incredibly headstrong and speaks freely and speaks openly. And so she set that model for me, or example for me to follow, I think. Besides that, I think growing up in a culture where you see that, there is still gender inequality or discrimination against women, but also feeling that there is a scope for change, that we're on the verge of improving things. So that gives you both the you know awareness that there is a need to do something, and also the power to do something meaningful. Like there is both a need and an opportunity at the same time. So that empowered me to come forward, and be it working towards menstrual health, or just my beliefs as a feminist, or even going into tech, which is usually still unfortunately a field that is male dominated, you could say. So all of those things are because of the people, my family members, my parents, my mother in particular, as well as the experiences and atmosphere that I had around me.
Wow, that's so beautiful. So you're going to break all the barriers in a way. That's so nice to come from you. But is there anything else that you do to, let's just say today there's a lot of talk on physical nourishment. What do you do to emotionally nourish yourself?
I think my biggest source of emotional nourishment would be writing. So I've always been passionate about writing and expressing myself through the written word. I wrote for my school magazine, school newspaper, but I also started my own platform for high school students and youngsters like myself, from other schools, from underprivileged communities, even internationally, to express themselves on issues that really matter to them. So we have delved into our issues, have been on themes like mental health, and our most recent issue was called Justice Beyond Just Us. So how can we bring justice into the world and think beyond ourselves, essentially? So that has been one way, which writing is one way through which I take out my emotions instead of bottling them up. And I've tried to give that platform to others as well. Besides that, I also, like, similar to writing, I also hand letter or create calligraphy. I find that is also an incredibly therapeutic experience, and I do that just for myself as a hobby.
Wow, so amazing. That's so nice. Anything else that you practice to stay healthy generally? Whether it's physical health, financial health, spiritual health, any other health.
Um, so another way I would say is, just going on walks or doing yoga, all of those things to stay physically active. Um, yeah, I just like, during these times, I think we are all um, bound inside our houses. So it's really important to take moments to just go step outside, maybe even in your balcony, appreciate your surroundings, and take a moment to breathe and be with our natural surroundings. So that is another way, I think, um, that I find it really calms me down.
Ananya, where does your confidence come from? If there is somebody out there who's listening to us right now and feels, probably I don't think what I speak really matters, or anything that's stopping them from doing something which may be really important for them to talk about, but some other inhibitions may stop them. So I would like to ask you, where does your confidence come from?
I honestly don't know. I think it's like, mostly it's fake it till you make it and keep practicing. So even if internally, I think everyone is always has some inhibitions or nervousness. And if you realize that all people around you have those inhibitions, it's not just you harboring that kind of hesitation. It makes it easier to be more expressive, and also just stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing that again and again makes it easier every single time.
Wow. Okay. Ananya, now I would like to give a background about your life.
Background in the sense that,
Anything that you want to talk about as to where you are today. I would want you to talk about it as to how have you reached where you are today in this space.
I the biggest thing I would say is just going with the flow and making use of the opportunities or anything that comes your way. Um, Plus, it's it's about not just waiting for those opportunities, but also um, realizing that this is a moment that you can utilize to do something bigger than yourself, or this is a gap that exists and here you could step in, whether that's creating a social campaign that worked for menstrual health and hygiene, or um, recently, like last year, I worked in an all girls team to develop an app called Maitri that connects senior citizens at old age homes with orphan children, because both of these groups are really vulnerable. And you could say senior citizens don't have the presence of that youthful energy in their lives, and children who grew up in who have been abandoned or grow up in orphanages would want that nurturing love that only parents and grandparents can, or parental figures can provide. So bringing those two groups together, that was another thing. So all of these things have just come up through observations, personal life experiences, and you see that here is something where I can step in, um, create something meaningful, or an opportunity comes your way and you're like, even though you weren't expecting it, like the TED talk that you mentioned, that was something completely unexpected. And at first, because it was right before my CBSE board examinations, in fact.
Oh,
So I how to turn that opportunity down, but at the last moment everything worked out. So it's both realizing where you can step in and also making use of whatever is coming your way, just going with the flow.
wow. I think your thoughts are so beautiful, and I wish this energy and this wisdom that you have, it connects to a lot of souls out there, irrespective of what age you are, because talking to you, I'm actually feeling that this world is in such beautiful hands. I think planet is actually going to thank you for creating such beautiful thoughts, intention, and actually creating that space for the world out there. It's so beautiful the way you think, and kudos to your mother who brought this beautiful angel in this world. So I would say your mother is this super angel and who created this beautiful butterfly angel out there. Ananya, anyone who's out there, who's probably, let's say, who's around your age, you must be in your early 20s, right? Since you just,
No, I'm actually only 18.
wow. Now you make me feel even more amazing about who you are. But for me, age has never been such a thing because I know wisdom comes irrespective of what age you are at. And at 18, if a 30-year-old can learn from an 18-year-old, I think what would be your advice to somebody who's even 30, 40, 50, 60, or maybe 90, or maybe even a 9-year-old who's listening to you? What would be that one thing that you would want the world to listen to?
I would say believe in yourself and your dreams. And even if it feels like, your voice isn't being heard, or you're not good enough to put yourself or your talents or your work out there, still do it and keep doing it. Keep going and believe in yourself, because no one else will do that more than you. So you have to first learn to appreciate yourself, and then the world will also appreciate you.
But now that brings me to something else right now that you're so, the generation that, today is, it's all about social media's likes, comments. How do you handle something which is not something that is your intention out there, or it's not something that you really want out there to go, but you receive all kind of, results? How do you handle something like this when it's not something that what you wanted the, energy to be directed towards?
Um, So sometimes our intent does not match the impact that it may have on others, and realizing that we may have been wrong perhaps, and apologizing or learning from any like if we unintentionally hurt someone from what we say or do, then we should be open to, realizing or learning and then moving forward and listening to others' perspectives. So that is one thing that I think in on social media we become very insular, or like only interact with people who also agree with what we believe in. Sometimes people disagree, and it's good to be respectful while we are disagreeing. So that's kind of like the social media etiquette that we should all be cultivating.
Doesn't it hurt you at times? How do you handle something which may probably not be something which is, you're ready to even consider to be of
Hmm.
respect? Let's just say, or even if it's respectful, it does
Hmm.
something even though. How do you handle that? Give me an
Uh,
18-year-old answer.
Sometimes I try to respond in a way that counters what they're saying, and other times I feel like I've typed out a response and then deleted the entirety of it, because I feel like it's not productive or helpful to start this argument online. And it's different to have a conversation face to face sometimes, and that nuance is lost when you're just debating, and you feel like, do I want to push this forward, or should I just end it here? Like, they've said something, I don't agree with it, and it hurt me, but I could just let it be and end it here. So that is something that I personally do. Just even if it hurts you, if you feel it's not productive or it's not good for your maybe mental health to carry forward that argument, then just leave it there.
So, Ananya, what do you want to do once, as you're going forward, what you want the world to be, or what you want Ananya as a person to be doing?
um, I am honestly, like, at this point, I am there are so many decisions that need to be made, like uh, career paths and college majors and all of these different things. But I think most of all, I just want to um, keep doing things that um, make a positive impact in the world, um, and you know just find happiness and meaning in my life. I would say that would be the overarching life goal.
Okay, so at 80, I see Ananya being even more happy than what she is right now, right? Creating much more impact in the world by just being this happy. And if there would be one thing, I don't think you need any advice, but if there would be one thing, I think I would just tell you, just keep this innocence in you alive, because if that's something that pushed a person like me to get out and message you, I'm sure, if your intention, it's like two eyes. You as I, innocence with the intent, well, you'll kill it, in this world. And you're already doing something very beautiful. Thank you so much, Ananya, for being this beautiful angel, beautiful sunshine angel. You're truly like this sunshine, with your beautiful smile out there, the way you talk, it's so nice. And more importantly, it comes from a very pure intent out there, which creates so much magic. Is there a statement that you live by today, that, a statement or a book or something, that has really created a trigger in you to live by with those words?
I don't know if there's one statement, but I would say, just to be very cliched, uh, live, laugh, and love. I would say those are three words. I know it's really cliche to be saying this, but yes, those are three words
I
that
think
I want to live by.
I think that's so beautiful, because we all need to live. We just forget that we need to be grateful to the fact that we are alive today more so, and keep laughing and letting people live, love, and laugh, right?
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
What else does the world need? Please keep creating this magic, however cliche it may be. It's beautiful when it comes from a beautiful soul like you. Thank you so much, Ananya, for doing this and sharing this beautiful time with me. I know how difficult it was for you. Thank you so much for being part of this Sunshine Life.
Thank you so, so much for having me. And it was amazing talking to you.
Thank you.